Thick fog covered the northern sea. The temperature was bone-chilling. The waves hit the side of the long wooden ship, making a croaking sound like an animal breathing. From a distance, a black shadow appeared slowly. Not a whale, not a coral, but a line of wooden dragons gliding across the water like hungry ancient spirits. That was the ship of the Viking Drakkar, Sea Dragon, the ship that made all of Europe tremble. Ships that can appear on any shore, without warning. They came from the fog, attacked, then disappeared back into the sea, fast, silent, turning off. But what makes their ships so fast and dangerous? How was it possible, 1,000 years ago, that the Vikings created ships that could sail across vast oceans and along shallow rivers at speeds that rivaled modern ships? To answer that, we have to go back to a time when the world did not yet know definite maps, when the sea was a mystery, and only the bravest dared to challenge it. Picture this, 9th century, Scandinavian. Cold winds from the Arctic swept through small pine villages, in simple workshops on the edge of the fjord. Dozens of muscular men carve wood with axes. They are not building ordinary ships. They are building weapons that will conquer the world. Each piece of the board is arranged like dragon scales. Each curve of the bow is carefully shaped to cut through the water like a knife. They had no machines, no steel, only hands, axes, and knowledge passed down from generation to generation. But the results are amazing. The first secret is in the shape of the hull. Viking ships were made using a technique called clinker-built, where wooden planks were arranged overlapping like fish scales. This makes the ship very flexible. It can bend with the waves, not against them. The result? Their ships do not break easily, even in the roughest seas. The second secret is light but strong. Unlike southern European ships which were heavy and deep, Viking ships were sleek and shallow. The draft is only about 1 meter. This means they can sail in almost shallow waters, and can even be pulled ashore by just a handful of people. They could enter a river, storm a city, and then be out at sea again in a matter of hours. No fortress could feel safe, as these dragon ships could appear from anywhere. The wind blew their sails square, sails of wool soaked in animal oil to make them waterproof. When the wind is calm, dozens of rowers will work in an eerie rhythm. Every time the oars entered the water, the sound of creaking wood was accompanied by shouts of command from the helmsman at the stern. The ship doesn't just move, it's like running. The design allows incredible speeds of up to 25 kilometers per hour with just sails and paddles. That was very fast for that century. Compare that to British or Frankish ships which weren't even half as big. However, what is most deadly is not only its speed but its flexibility. Viking ships could turn quickly in narrow rivers, or glide between rocks without crashing. They could attack from the sea, then follow the rivers far inland, something that no other fleet could do at that time. Imagine a quiet morning in 9th century England. Farmers work in the fields. There are no danger signs. Then from a small river near the village, dozens of longships with dragon snouts appeared. The soldiers shouted Valhalla awaits, and before the sun set, the village disappeared from the map. That was the Viking terror, not only because they are vicious, but because no one knows when and where they will come from. However, the greatness of the Viking ships was not the result of chance. They live in a land that forces humans to become natural engineers. The seas in Scandinavia are harsh and unforgiving. The current is fast, the rocks are sharp, storms can come without warning. Every weak ship sinks. Only the best survive. Viking shipbuilders studied nature. They know the direction of the wind. They know the way the wood breathes. They chose oak with a certain grain direction, so that it would bend naturally when installed in the hull. There are no iron nails. Everything is held together with wooden pegs and leather ropes, making the ship light but sturdy. And they have another secret of perfect symmetry. The bow and stern have almost the same shape. This means the ship can move forward or backward without having to turn. In war on a narrow river, This means everything. They can attack, then retreat as if disappearing while the enemy ship is trapped trying to turn around. But behind all that technical prowess, there was something deeper that brought Viking ships to life. Each ship was given a name, with a dragon, snake, or wolf engraved on its prow. It's not a decoration, it's a guardian spirit. They believe ships have souls. Before sailing, they sacrificed animals and sometimes humans so that the sea spirits would not be angry. For the Vikings, ships were not tools. The ship is a living creature that carries them to glory or death. And perhaps that was the reason why their ship was so fast, because everyone on board believed they were riding a real dragon. Year after year, these ships conquered the world, from Norway to England, from France to Russia, even to Constantinople and the coast of North America. They brought trade, plunder, and myth. Even the nations that conquered began to copy their designs, but nothing has ever really come close. But behind that glory, time passes, change comes, the winds of history turned. As Europe began to build ships with steel, as new technologies emerged, Viking dragon ships slowly disappeared from the seas. But traces of them remain in legends, in stories, and in modern ship designs that still imitate their shape. And now, 1,000 years later, modern engineers studying Viking shipwrecks found on the seabed were shocked. Their design was almost hydrodynamically perfect. Computer tests show the hull shape has an efficiency that rivals today's cruise ships. How could a nation without machines, without maps, be able to create such advanced works? Here's a twist that many people don't know. The greatest secret of a Viking ship wasn't its wood, its sails, or its oars, but in the way they look at the sea. For other nations, the sea is a barrier, but for the Vikings, the sea was the highway. They are not afraid of him, they live with him. Their ships were not built to brave the sea but to dance on it, and therein lies its greatness. Viking ships were not only fast and dangerous because of their design, but because of the philosophy that shaped them, the courage to see danger as opportunity. So next time you see a dragon carved on the bow of an old ship in a museum, remember it's not just a relic of the past. It is a symbol of the human spirit that refuses to be limited by natural boundaries. The ship is not just a wooden boat. He is the spirit of courage itself.